Hello everyone, this is 102 and I'm late. I ended up oversleeping. I was supposed to stream at 11, but instead I just started and I started at the time when I was supposed to end the stream, but it's okay, I guess. Better late than ever, I guess. At least you can say that I'm not sleep deprived, not as much today, so maybe I'm gonna be more lucid when I play this game. Hope you're doing well, and so let's just get into it. Last time we had some interesting developments. I managed to unlock some interesting thoughts. Somebody told me that the last one, the actual art degree, is actually one of the most useful thoughts because it gives you experience. So that's gonna be interesting. And yeah, and I remember I also did some interesting things regarding the the drug trade. I managed to uncover some new things about the case. I managed to link the drug trade, which was suspected by Joyce, to the murder case. Turns out that one of the people, the famous 8th member of the Hardy Boys, was actually this lady driver who we can probably say was present at the crime scene. Now, I could also do this. Okay. So I hate to do this because Everard Clare is a big fat piece of shit, but I guess we have no other option. This is for the case, so I guess we have to do it. I really hope this is the last favor I have to ask him. This is like the last resort for me. I really wanted to do anything else to get the corpse down. See, I have the hat, naval coat. Maybe I should go with composure. Get this off. You know, I really want to get rid of this thought. -1 Inland Empire. I mean, maybe this one could still be useful, but I think there is another one. Yeah, this one, -1 Logic. Yeah, sure, the landing cap for visual calculus is rated to 6, but what does that mean? It means that I got more room, but I don't think I'm going to fill all these dots in one single playthrough. I think that's stupid. I don't know, we will see. Alright, you bastard.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you've already sat on that chair.
You might have noticed there's one hanging on a tree behind the hostel cafeteria.
Oh my. Don't take this question personally, but why would I get involved in this matter?
Mr. Clare, the man was hanged with a cargo belt. A steel-reinforced cargo belt. It's safe to assume the Union had something to do with the murder. Besides, getting the body down would benefit all of us. It's a stain on the neighborhood.
You're a community leader, help your community out.
I can certainly see how having him up there might start affecting some real estate values. But of course, all joking aside, I am going to help you. Jean-Luc, my boy, I'm sending 2 police officers down. They have a dead body in a tree problem they need help with. Namely, they need it to be taken down.
Be very careful with those words. You're sending 2 police officers down, namely they need it to be taken down. The body, not the police officers. The body.
And, Jean, please take it easy with the race science. He's had enough of that. You can find Jean-Luc down at the gates, but you already knew that. Anyway, he's going to help you.
Ah, that was easy.
See you soon, Debardeur. Just kidding, but not too much.
Okay, that was easy. He didn't ask anything in return. I just have to... Huh? Oh, that's money. I just have to deal with Measurehead. Maybe that's the problem.
The unpromising race pupil returns.
Yep, you know whatever I told you, huh?
So it was. You surmounted the harbor wall in a display of athletic prowess to reach my superior. Then had him give me an order. I salute your cunning, and I will remove the body from the tree with my bare hands.
You're so noble, Measurehead.
There's a but. But, while I am gone, someone must stand guard on the bridge. That someone needs to be you. Both of you.
This is the uncomfortable result of not taking it on ourselves. I can live with a compromise.
Listen to your little friend. He is wise in his childlike way. His mysterious race may yet prove fierce competition to my heroic haplogroup.
My heroic haplogroup. Okay then.
Babe, see that they stay here the whole time.
The button.
The woman's gaze follows Measurehead as he leaves.
The button. It's shining. But now I know something. I know something more about this situation. I know that one of the mercenaries is at the gate. So if I actually open the gate, I don't know what's going to happen now. Sure, the scabs might get in, but the mercenaries might also get in. And that could be a problem. I mean, personally, I don't care about the Union boys. If they die, I don't care. But maybe as a policeman, I am supposed to arrest them, not put them in the morgue. So maybe I shouldn't let this bloodbath happen. Despite the fact that, you know, I don't really care personally.
So, you guys are like cops or something? Have you ever thought that maybe things should go to shit? I'm Katya, by the way.
There you go. Then let me press the button and see how the world goes upside down.
You hear that? That sound. He's breaking something.
Yeah, Jean-Luc must be really tearing it up over there. I wish I could see it.
Look at you! RCM rent-a-cops! Guarding that bridge like Everott's lapdogs! Is this where it's at now? The RCM is for sale!
Oi. How about you mind your own business?
Spoken by a mercenary, pretending to be a worker.
There you go.
A shrill laughter interrupts you, echoing across Martinez. It's Kuno. Then, the man turns to look behind him at the behemoth appearing around the corner, approaching him, walking past him.
The corpse has been removed from the tree. Stand down and congratulate yourself. You have sided with Ray's victory today. And what you had to do was to become a Union man for all to see.
Let's just get on with the case.
Looking for something?
Saffron picker.
You missed a good show before. A kid came by and completely fucked the tree to pieces.
He fucked the tree up! Fucked it good! It was porno!
You need to act decisively. It's Kuno. Use Kuno word.
Stop choking, Kuno! The faggot has got you in a chokehold!
Kuno's not fucking choking.
My god, I wish I could shut that thin girl up. I can't stand her.
Like fuck you did. Kuno's gonna keep saying kipped forever now. Kipped. Shit. The fuck did you want anyway? You got your fuck bag down. Now let's talk normal shit. Yes. Kuno wants a normal conversation. Ask normal shit, please. The fuck about it? Kuno doesn't give a shit about the armor. Kuno's fuck gimp's got one big thing wrong with him. He's a fucking mutant. Look at him. Fucking growth hormone shit. He's a giant. The armor's too big for any man. Kuno doesn't give a shit about that freak armor. Kuno threw that shit away. Kuno tried to get the helmet on. It was too big. Kuno kicked that shit in the sea, rugby style. That shit means nothing to Kuno. Yeah, that shit means nothing to Kuno. Kuno doesn't give a shit about material shit. Kuno's a fucking monk. You wanna fuck on someone about that armor? Go fuck the mustached union fuck. The jolly troubadour shit at the gates. Yeah, cock and boot. You know that jolly union cow fucker? Came around talking about cows or some shit? Came around pretending like he cares about cows?
Yes, you met him at the gates. The one with the boots and the jolly smile.
Yeah, He's the one you want to talk to. He's fucking crazy about that armor shit. Coming here pretending like he likes cows.
Or you may be paranoid. That is also a possibility, sire.
Fuck are you talking about? What is this contusion shit?
He says you're stupid, Kuno. They want to make you stupid again.
Oh, did Kuno make your shit sniffing harder? Obstruction of shit sniffing? This is Kuno's kingdom. Kuno fucking rules here.
You hear the lieutenant hum.
You're testing Kuno's patience here.
Get lost,
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
The corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an absolutely demolished pinewood branch. It's gently laid on one side.
Mr. Measurehead has done a good job. Nothing is too broken or compromised. The victim is ready for a field autopsy. Yes. 1. Investigation of the scene. 2. Initial examination of the victim. 3. Field autopsy. 4. Transportation of the body to the morgue. We are on number 3.
The RCM's 4-phase murder scene processing manual.
The fuck are they on about?
Cop's gonna cut his shit up.
No, you and I are detectives. The honorary rank of detective signifies our ability to handle the entire incident chain, from autopsy to cleanup to social work, everything. An honor and a burden attached to your rank once you've proven yourself able, usually after 5 to 8 years of field work. Mine is Lieutenant Detective. You are. Your station would not have assigned you on this case if you weren't. Now,
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Shoot, Looney Rooney.
Looney Rooney. But I don't have anything to ask.
Come back later, Corporal. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
What you do know is, at 18.9 kilometers, the dormant shield volcano, Corpus Mundi, is the world's highest summit, and the failure of the 38 single, Epuis Descent, to crack the top 20 was the death knell of disco. But what a field autopsy is, you have no idea.
Unfortunately, no. They are better than nothing. Tell you what, I perform the anatomical side of things while you will take notes. In your paperwork, officer, just fill out the field autopsy form.
Now they only have one paperwork too.
Officer, what haven't you lost? Good. Otherwise you would only have one shoe now. I can give you my paperwork. There's an autopsy form there. Several, actually, but only if it helps move things along. Right. The autopsy form is near the end.
The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with,
That's you.
Ok, Harry Dubois.
the corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just lies there. The next box says,
KK57-0803.0815. Next, we've heard the nom de guerre, Lely. It's better than nothing. Write it down. What's next? Date of birth? NA. Roughly 50.
dry 40. The damage is so extensive, it's better to err on the young side. He nods.
Mondial.
Fair to olive-skinned, from the Isola of Muindi. This is as vague as it gets. You might as well say whitish. The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other.
Fucky!
Male.
Pigs can have sex!
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face.
We're still going with March 4th. 51. What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
KK 57 0503 0815 listens motionless, with the cargo belt still around his neck. Only 1 box remains.
None. At least not after the initial examination. Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem. They'd have to have incapacitated and carried him over. This man was more than a match for untrained dogwalkers.
Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-DeLorean burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Then, somewhere in Jamrock North, a small wood shed behind Rosencrantz Row, Lieutenant Nick Feuerbach puts his hand to the chest of a small corpse, no larger than a monkey. It's raining outside, light drizzle. There is darkness in the shed. Elsewhere yet, an obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette bull-like against the window. Outside, Grand Coudon. The day is turning dim for Sergeant Mac Dawson. Hand extended, he approaches, to make sure she is dead more than anything else. And so, all across Jamrock, Coal City, GRIH, 42 deceased persons found today, 42 stations of breath.
We should start the post-mortem.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
See, it's happening.
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
The boots are ceramic. Vitreous enamel. They are fused to his skin from blood flowing downward post-mortem. Removal of the boots is left for processing. The boot has a serial number. It's E50.100.100. The lines between the plates are in the shape of the alphanumerical. The number is purposefully concealed by the design. Tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a national pattern. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white.
I'm a little bit worried because I remember we were supposed to, yeah, sometime after 9, and it's 9/7. That means that after this corpse business, I need to go there ASAP.
The assistant has a color photograph of the markings to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene using a Trigat Mini. The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow. Length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end. Well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age 42. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature below freezing. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short. Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs, consistent with stones thrown post-mortem. Low velocity.
Fucking low velocity? You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest, consistent with predation. Ligature mark. The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Always good to think ahead. Now, we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. Carefully, with as much precision as you can.
See, my pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising
shit.
from the east.
You are? You're Kuno's pig?
Great.
You jam the cutters right under the knot. That seems like a smart idea. Yeah, somewhere there. Already they're buried deep in the man's flesh. Then you rotate them to get a better hold. Then... A really, really bad smell is coming from there now, and some kind of cracking sound.
Yeah, fuck him! Fuck that faggoty! Corpse fucking time!
Told you my pig was hardcore.
I should have a go first. I think I have a strategy.
He sinks the cutters into the knot, preparing to perform the cuts, with his elbow to his knee for precision. Snap! The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it.
Here. The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck, on the nape. Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters. Chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact, genitalia...
No! Let's get out and see!
I fucking knew it!
This is clearly what they've been waiting for, ever since the autopsy began. The lieutenant is trying to make it as boring as possible.
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury. Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip. In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin.
From wounds sustained over 2, maybe more decades, dispersal and accumulation indicates long and active combat duty.
We have a real museum here. Of battles, wars. Last item, hands. Hands are clean. No sign of a recent struggle. I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, this stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment. Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next?
Yeah, we need to go.
Gendarmerie. You found me.
His slender figure is backlit by city lights, its distant streets and motorways flashing like diamonds. It feels like a Friday. He seems to be in a good mood tonight.
Beautiful. So tell me, are you here to make things right again? Beautiful.
What kind of character is this guy?
I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting. Mm-hmm. That's why I chose this place. Martinez is special, isn't it?
Wait. Suddenly you are digging things?
Yeah, it does feel like the end of the week. Such gentle weather. That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me.
He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around. It's getting dark and the neighboring windows have lit up one by one.
Besides, I've got to run.
Something tells you you're never going to talk to an individual this cool or mysterious ever again.
To the city. It's a beautiful night.
Something flutters in the corner of the lieutenant's mouth as you're saying those words.
We'll talk. Just not tonight. Take care, alright?
And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him.
He's always leaving. Why is he always leaving him?
Who knows, detective? It's a mystery. Right after you.
Oh. Governmental issues take me all over Evershall, you see? What is this? Party Dragon Silk Robe? What? If stability is endured, progress will naturally follow. What are these people?
Officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia.
His hands are clean and well manicured. This is a man who knows the importance of appearances.
My name is Charles Vildrouin, and I am an official with the coalition government. I work for the Institute of Price Stabilité on assignment from Sur-la-Clé. I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I am here to assist you in any way possible. ask me about the hanging.
No, first ask an innocuous personal question to get the interview off on the right foot.
Oh, we got it from an atelier in the East Delta Commerce Center. Personally, I think it's a little culturally insensitive, but the material is great. Sadly, the shop is now out of business. That's really all I can tell you about it.
The lieutenant takes out his notebook and nods to you to proceed.
The Coalition is only looking out for the price stability. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled. The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight.
Okay, but what are you doing here in this apartment?
Well, I'm renovating it. It is an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off. This, of course, happened when the Coalition forces landed here. You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here.
So you're some kind of bureaucrat?
Yes, as I said before, I am a commissioner from Sur-la-Clé working for the Institute of Price Stabilité. This is one of the main projects of the Moral Inter.
Wait, there isn't actually an Institute of Price Stability, is there? Or maybe there is. God, it's impossible to understand whether someone from the Moral Intern is joking or not.
It's the International Organization for Moralists, hence Moralist International. The Institute of Price Stability is just one of its many mind babies, as is the Coalition.
There are more nefarious powers to work for than the Moral Intern.
But of course.
But why?
Because moralists believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values. Martinez? No. Martinez is something else. Rivachol is generally difficult. It's led by an interim government, which means it hasn't yet achieved full democracy. But they are working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking.
Ah.
Is this option D usually the most reasonable answer? Not boring, my friend. Responsible. Moralism is all about compromise and achieving the achievable. It's pragmatic, realistic, and level-headed. An ideology for doers. Are you a doer, my friend? It looks to me like you are. Now, enough of this delightful political interlude. Was there anything else you wanted to ask? It is the most important thing. It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy. Maintaining the price stability is essential to maintaining high levels of economic activity, which is essential for maintaining high levels of employment. which is essential for maintaining the social stability.
Basically, it makes sure the price of bread doesn't change.
Précisément. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to produce. That's why the Institute of Price Stability works to keep inflation just below 2%. But not too far below, no. Too below is also bad. Below, but close to 2%. The Coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of the price stability. Transparency is one of our principles. Would you like an informational pamphlet?
Nah, I'm good.
A sound monetary policy is essential for addressing uncertainty. Stability is the raison d'être of the moral intern. It's the reason why I identify as a moralist. But oh, I don't have my leaflets on me today. That's too bad. You can always call our information line. Making information available is part of the moral intern's commitment to transparency.
Sur la clef?
What's there to say? Sur-la-Clé is a modern, urbanized country that measures very high on the Human Development and Freedom Index. Mostly, though, it's known as the executive heart of EPIS. Moreover, it is a great sponsor of less emerged countries. Revachol is only one of its many darlings whose progress it supports and cherishes.
Darlings? That can't be an official designation.
Because a great percentage of Revachol's culture hails from Sur-la-Clé. Its language, its people, its cuisine even. Or at least in the downtown La Delta area.
What about the international community?
La communauté internationale is what Revacholians colloquially call the Coalition. In other words, the nations that stopped the disaster of the revolution.
Okay. That's a big load of history right there. That's
Whatever
about the
you
case.
wish, officer.
Yeah, actually witnessed the lynching, right?
I'm sorry to say I did, officer. Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in a play.
He holds out his hands and blossoms his fingers, like a drama teacher setting the scene.
What do you mean, like in a play?
It was just so strange. I could barely comprehend what was happening. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body. And then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead, one by one. That's when I understood. I should not be seeing this.
Sounds like the victim was unconscious, or at least incapacitated. Well done, detective.
I couldn't tell you exactly. Less than 10. Maybe 8?
The lieutenant sends you a sharp look at the mention of that number.
That's a giant you're describing. No, they were all quite human, as far as I could tell. Drummers? Why, no. But then, I don't know what a drummer is supposed to look like.
I think we can drop the drummer angle. That was my bad.
I went back inside.
Were you able to see anything from inside?
Officer, the yard was pitch black. There was nothing to see, but I could still hear their voices. They were threatening to kill that poor man. All men, I presume. But again, I couldn't see very clearly.
But we are fairly certain the lady driver was present.
It's possible, officer, but I cannot say with certainty. It was very dark, you must remember. Well, that's the strangest part, officer. Nothing happened. It was oddly quiet for a public lynching. Eventually, their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, know anything. You're right, of course. That is what one is supposed to do in such circumstances. I was simply in shock. I'm afraid I don't have anything else to add.
About what time was all this happening, approximately?
All I can say is that it was late. My watch. Yes, now I remember. It was 30 minutes past midnight, give or take. No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day. Of course, anything I can do to assist the RCM.
What about the smoker?
Ah, my friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and life has not been easy for him. But he understands the importance of education. He has taken his future into his own hands, and that's all that matters. Kedra is a candidate member of APIS. But, between you and me, their potential membership is a more contentious issue. That it's never going to happen. They entered negotiations in 21, and it's been pending ever since.
But that doesn't tell me anything about Kedra. Is it warm, cold?
It's warm. It's also known for its mandarin trees and dust storms from Supramundi. Kedra's an emerging market, but it still has a long way to go. Maybe that's why my friend's menage decided to emigrate.
Still haven't told me who he is. This guy tells you a lot of stuff without telling you anything.
Sorry, who? But I told you, officer. He's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of our future, especially the arts. It is a cornerstone of our civilization.
Fine, but what's his real name?
Officer, you have to understand. I can't give you his personal information. I'm sure you have your own methods and databases, right? Please don't put me in this situation.
So all you can tell me about him is that he's here to study arts.
He's deeply enmeshed in the study of the fine arts, yes.
As though you weren't envious enough of the boy as is.
Which arts?
He's a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. Perhaps graphic design, printmaking, who knows? The world is open wide for a talented youth like him.
How did you two even become friends?
How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Insulan Peninsula? Oil platforms ablaze in the night? Civil wars lasting for years? Finally, the international community is forced to step in.
Describing how the coalition occupied Revachol.
One of the wonders of democracy is that everyone is allowed to have his own opinion. And not just allowed, encouraged even. Have you ever tried debate?
What do you mean?
Debating. You should consider joining a debating society for adults. I hear they're oodles of fun. I used to have a flyer for one, but now that I start thinking of it, it was for an improv class anyway. It's this funny theater thing, you know? Very creative. Helps relieve stress.
A chill runs down your spine as you envision a half-dozen people in professional attire standing around a chair, awkwardly pretending to be waiting for a motorbus. It's neither funny nor creative.
What are you doing in this apartment by yourself?
I'm just enjoying the view.
Isn't it rude for your friend to leave you alone like this?
We're old friends. Nothing's taboo between us. He comes and goes. I'm sure you'll see him around. He's very active.
Okay.
I'm all ears, officer.
Now that's all I have.
A moment, officer.
What?
Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave.
Why can't we talk
It's
later?
against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with local militiamen. And I'm pressed for time.
Battery
After
critical.
you leave, I should be leaving as well.
That's not the real reason he's so apprehensive. Men in his position shouldn't be seen loitering around in underprivileged young men's apartments in the middle of the night.
Not going anywhere, I just want to take a look around in this apartment.
Sure, go ahead. It's a beautiful space. Let me know if you have any further questions.
Yeah, let's check this place. Samaran conical hat. Huh.
Was there anything else?
No.
Of course. I'm glad I could help.
I think that's everything. Huh. It's horrible. It's difficult to look at. My God. So far so good. Okay, this has to happen on Wednesday. Yeah, let's try.
Fuck does Kuno care? Kuno doesn't fucking care.
Hold on. Do I have anything for empathy? No.
Fuck does Kuno care?
Yeah, it's really low. Nah.
Kuno does.
Okay, let's get forward with the corpse.
The rotting man lies on his side with his eyes looking straight through you. Bits of cargo belt lie on the ground around him. His body is supine and open to intrusion by autopsy. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story.
If I may add the moral of this story.
What would that be?
The dead man looks, too, with barely contained excitement to hear the moral of his story.
The brain is very vulnerable to compromises in its blood supply.
I think that may well be the moral of every story, officer. Good. Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable. Respiratory system. Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen. Hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
No, I don't wanna throw up, so I'm not gonna look.
Hepatobiliary. NA.
Do we have anything?
Are you a hepatobiliary expert?
Hepato means liver, and biliary, the gallbladder and bile ducts.
Am I an expert in those things?
Nothing in your alcohol-soaked memory directs to having forensic expertise on either one.
I don't think so.
Neither am I. Same for toxicology and serology. NA.
Both?
Unless you have untapped reservoirs of knowledge there?
Reservoirs? No, but do they take obscure trivia and odd tidbits?
The completionist in me wonders if there's something we could still do.
No. Like a toxicology screening? At this stage, I doubt processing will find anything, even if he was brimming with cocaine. but still, you should add a request. Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging. Gastrointestinal.
This will do.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila.
Write it down, omit the voila.
What's next on the list?
Description of injuries.
Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too.
What about the injuries we have inflicted?
Oh, so we inflicted them?
This is a team effort. Okay, I have inflicted.
Okay, so there's a spin-stabilized munition from a Kiel A990 muzzleloader lodged in his lung, and an incision on the thorax from a chain cutter. I wouldn't mention those. Better not to muddy the waters.
I agree, the waters are muddy enough.
See? These pigs are fucking corrupt.
Why don't you fuck him if you love him so much?
Now, injuries.
Okay, bite marks.
Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted. And your opinion, officer?
Non-fatal, post-mortem.
Agreed. Next injury?
Contusions.
So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 boxes.
Non-fatal post-mortem.
Next,
Ligature mark.
a dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible.
Fatal injury, I guess.
That's it. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned. But it's a start. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over.
First, how did it go?
Well, we established probable cause of death. Some would say that's the goal of an autopsy. We also requested a toxicological screening. That was thorough. The results should arrive in a couple of weeks, if we are lucky. I will not hold my breath.
We don't have 2 weeks.
We were thorough with the list of injuries too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy.
Well, now.
Now we put him in a body bag and I drive him to Forborg for processing.
The lieutenant looks at the dead man one more time, then at his notebook, then at the corpse again. He's thinking, did I miss something? You tilt your head, also looking at the corpse. I'm sure we didn't get everything. There's always something. run your hands over the victim's cold body, his limbs, his torso with its swollen organs. Maybe you should be more thorough. The corpse seems to yawn contentedly, as though it's glad you've run out of steam.
Do you think we missed something? I worked as one of those processing guys for a year. They are butchers and clowns. I once saw 20 CODs go misidentified in 1 week. Chances are slim to none that they'll find anything useful in processing. In short, you and I are the last line of detection. If you're not sure we got everything, we need to look again. And for that, we need to refrigerate the corpse.
Where do we find a fridge for the body?
Hey, wasn't there a giant ice bear sarcophagus below that building?
What? You want to put the body there? Why? Yes, there was.
Now, detective, I've rarely been disappointed by the size of a giant ice bear fridge. But I think we should still take a look at it first. Make sure it's big enough before we carry him over. Let's move. With every hour, whatever we are looking for in the deceased will become harder to find.
Okay, damn.
The bear's eyes are still glowing red, watching over all the ice cream wrappers hidden inside its belly.
It's certainly an eccentric choice, but it is capacious and cold enough, too.
But the optics on this are awful, he thinks. We need to be as silent as we can. Your visual confirms you could fit 2 more bodies in the ice bear fridge.
Shall we go and get the body, then? I'll take the head, you take the feet. The stairs won't be easy, but we'll manage.
The body is heavier than you expected and stinkier. It takes half an hour to get it down to the butcher, then 10 more minutes to stuff it into the fridge. The lieutenant takes a step back to admire your handiwork.
That was loud.
Beautiful. A dead body in an ice bear fridge. This is some of the best police work I've ever done.
Alright, Kim.
You have created an ice bear sarcophagus.
We created an ice bear sarcophagus.
Talk of the ice bear sarcophagus must not leave this room.
We did our best.
Did we though? Okay, maybe we did. At least we've stopped the body from decomposing further. Now you can conduct another inspection under controlled circumstances.
Inside the icy realm of the ice bear fridge, the corpse stands slumped, waiting.
Shoot, Looney Rooney.
How do you like it in the fridge?
I like it a lot, brother. This really is your finest hour. You're a genius. A regular Corporangelo.
Coppolangelo.
Come back later, Corpo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
All right. Maybe we should go to Mañana. Oh, but there's nobody here. Only Kuno is here.
Fuck does Kuno care? Kuno doesn't.
Yeah.
I'll die before I squeal, pig. You don't want to fuck with me. I got my hands bloody. I'm not here, pig. You're not seeing this.
You can still see the top of her hat from behind the fence.
Wait a second, what are you doing over there? I remember you. You were the lady in the beginning of the game. Oh yeah, I was also supposed to ask the cook. Where's the cook? He's not here.
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
You know, to hell with it. Let's have more cryptids.
Yes.
Of course, officers. Is there a particular cryptid you two are interested in learning about?
What's the tiniest cryptid?
Cryobacter catlensis.
Huh.
Yes, a unicellular bacterium that was discovered in one of the northernmost points of Kotla, on the Boreal Plateau, by renowned geologist Caitlin Mijanou some 70 years ago.
What's so special about it?
The bacterial colony Mijanou found had remained alive while frozen in ice for longer than anyone could reliably estimate. certainly from before recorded history. Michanu disappeared shortly after injecting herself with the bacteria she had brought back to study, no doubt in hopes of prolonging her own life.
Wait, she injected herself with it?
Yes, the bacteria had survived in the ice since times immemorial. It is not hard to see where she could have gotten the idea.
Yeah, but that's stupid.
It's actually a little hard to see, but do go on.
You mean there is an immortal geologist wandering the world?
Yes, and she's quite mad, too. After she treated herself with the bacteria, she stopped aging, but also became increasingly eccentric and irascible, so that even her oldest friends were forced to pull away. We can assume that she has been living somewhere in the wilderness for decades now, all alone except for the Cryobacter catlensis coursing through her bloodstream.
Huh. And what's the biggest cryptid?
That would be the Giant of Kokonur. The giant lives in the most arid parts of the vast Kokonur Desert in South Samara, casting a strange light across the barren wastes.
Strange light?
Mirage or psychogenous luminance.
Is it dangerous?
The towering luminosity of Kokonur is a bad omen in local folklore. Some say it's a fata morgana, others, fate unimaginable.
And just how big is it?
No one knows for sure. It is like an awful mountain appearing from below the horizon and expanding to cover almost a third of your field of vision.
Hooey. No animal can be that large. It's a mirage.
That's what makes it so peculiar. A species surviving at the very limits of scientific law. The giant of Kokonur must be the largest animal the planet can support. There are limits, you see, to how large a metabolism an ecosystem can beget. Some say a gravity anomaly below the Kokonur Desert might allow the creature to grow to these gargantuan sizes.
Gravity anomaly? Digging it. Digging this parascientific stuff right here.
It's the most dangerous cryptid.
The gnome of Jeroma.
That sounds terrifying.
Oh, yes. None of its victims survived. Grieving relatives never even found their bodies because the gnome's venom dissolved organic tissue.
Venom? A venomous gnome? What the fuck?
It was reportedly a small creature with webbed fingers and a protruding forehead and a ungainly little thing. Quite scary to look at. A couple of campers found it when it was already dying. They heard an odd wailing in the woods and followed the sound. They were scared and wrapped it in tarpaulin to suffocate it. It still took the gnome of Jeroma an entire day to die.
If the body of the creature was found, why aren't there detailed illustrations of it in science textbooks, confirming the existence of this very little species?
Alas, the first scientist who got his hands on the creature's corpse put it in a jar of formaldehyde, thinking that would detoxify the gnome's venom. Instead, all the venom leaked out of the creature's teeth and into the surrounding liquid, dissolving the creature itself. A poetic end, perhaps, but a real loss for science.
Alas, always alas, and then it was gone. Isn't that overly convenient?
Seems very convenient that it just disappeared.
I understand your skepticism, but that's what happens with things that are rare and stand out. Their disappearance is most memorable, and they are least likely to be found again.
Man, I just can't get enough of these cryptids.
I'm glad you like them, but I'm not really one to tell you about all of them. You should ask my husband if you get the chance. He's the real expert.
Yeah. This is something that I'm going to do the next day, I think. I will be able to get to the bridge and look for your husband. It's gonna be great.
The door is closed. Still nothing. The lieutenant gives you a quick glance. He doesn't like where this is going.
Can I help you? Got the 20 real?
Come on, man, it's late. Do I really have to pay you again? Now, you know what? I can give you.
Good. You got the room for the night, but remember, you'll need another 20 real tomorrow.
Oh, come on, man.
Another thing. Great. I love those.
So the phone line is dead.
Yes, and the phone company is taking its sweet time sending someone to fix it. Losers.
Is it true that there was foul play?
Who told you that?
Doesn't matter. I just want to know you. I just want to know who you suspect.
Fine, yeah. It looked like someone had messed with the wiring. It was shortly after the hanging, but I don't know if it's at all related. Plenty of assholes around here who aren't murderers. If you do find out who cut the line, though, let me know so I can forward them the repair bill. Yes?
Goodbye.
Yes?
I really want to do this. There's a sexy dark mystery twist in the case. So, I was thinking that maybe... Okay, let's try it like this. See you in the morning. Bye.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression.
So now Kim left me alone. I want to try something. Maybe I can talk to Joyce, if she's still there. Probably not. But it's always good to try, I guess. Are you there? Yes, you're there.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
Now that we're alone, what is pale?
Are you sure you're sure? Your colleague seemed adamant.
Yes, what is the pale?
Okay. The Pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, Detective. The separative tissue between the islas. It is the inter-islary mass.
Okay, the isla must be, well, the islands. Okay, what is the pale like?
Achromatic, odorless, featureless. The Pale is the enemy of matter and life. It is not like any other, or anything in the world. It is the transition state of being into nothingness.
The negation of being.
That's right. The negation of being.
Is this pale in the room with us?
Oh, it is so difficult for us. It is possible to force dimensions on the Pale. In modern times, we can even compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves from one end to the other, shortening the path. But it is still hard for humans to navigate the Pale without getting lost, or having our minds damaged.
Is it here?
No, Detective. We're safe. It begins there, 6,000 kilometers to the north, and even more to the south, east, and west. You are in the middle of the Isla.
And there?
An uproar of matter, darling. Rising into the Pale. Rolling. Evaporating even. A great vision. The area of transition between the world and the Pale is called Porch Collapse. Imagine a grey coronal mist. Cold vapor, marked by spores of an opportunistic microorganism. A mold that's adapted to grow at the edge of the unrest. It's the most disco thing you will ever see.
Wow, now I really want to get on the boat and see it for myself.
It's difficult to describe, or even measure. Something whose fundamental property is the suspension of properties. Physical, epistemological, linguistic. The further into Pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension. Right down to the mathematical. Numbers stop working. No one has yet passed the number barrier. It may be impossible.
There's a slippery article in there.
Is it the Pale or Pale?
Pale when it's particular, this territory of Pale. The Pale when it's pale in its entirety. Once you've seen it, language balks at the difference.
The Pale can damage the mind?
Extensively. Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others argue that Pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading, that it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over of the self. The Pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history even. The human mind becomes over-radiated by past.
Who says and who argues?
The logical positivists say, the dialectical materialists argue. It feels terrible. Absolutely terrible. International standards strictly limit civilian travelers to 6 days of Pale exposure per year.
It's more for her. Way more.
You are not a civilian passenger?
No, nameless detective of the Citizens Militia. I am a member of the Entreprenetic Business Class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of Pale transit annually.
Perhaps that explains her strange pining after the revolution. Some degraded early memories.
Cool.
Someone else you've met may have been exposed as well. The strange grey-haired woman in her lorry.
Do lorry drivers pass the Pale?
Yes. Carried in the hulls of airships. It's a horrific job. Automation will abolish it soon.
You should ask the Pale driver about this. See what she says.
Are you overradiated?
Up to my gills, officer.
What is anthroponetic?
Entreprenetics is the scientific study of the Pale, or a recent iteration of it by way of Grad. The study of the Pale reaches back 6,000 years. The Pericarnassians called it the Western Plain.
They had not traveled the entire circumference of the Pericarnassian Super E Solar. It was not merely in the west, it was everywhere, even then, surrounding them.
Did they cross it?
There are signs of pre-modern crossings. Successful navigation of the Pale relies not just on technical know-how, but intensive psychological preparation. Some of these tactics have been known for thousands of years. Nothing. We remain powerless before the Pale. The only real advance in Pale transit is the speed with which an aerostatic craft can pierce it. Less exposure leads to less effects later. Hybrid airships, Detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines no longer add velocity after the point of reference for motion is suspended, once you've crossed from near Pale to far Pale. In essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end. If we throw them precisely.
And if we do not?
Then they don't.
Huh.
Gone, like a skipping stone beneath the surface.
How much Pale is there compared to the world?
The Pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more Pale than there is matter, and the ratio is slipping. What do you think, Detective?
Well, I think it's growing.
Precisely. One of the few measurable effects of the Pale is that it is expanding at an unknown rate. An intuitive conclusion of that development is that one day the Pale will cover everything. But this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists.
It's not extreme at all. It's going to happen.
Most people, and indeed most private and government sector organizations, entire civilizations and religions even, find handy ways to ignore or downplay that knowledge. I suggest you do the same.
Gulp.
It doesn't look like you're doing the same. The suggestion was meant in earnest, Detective. Live life.
Okay, let's return to reality.
Yes, sweet reality. But before we do, tell me, Detective, is this the first time you're hearing this? Do you really not remember anything?
I sometimes sense vague shadows of a past, and it's not good.
Then tell me, what do you think of the Pale?
You were right. It's disco.
Mm-hmm. You really didn't know. This does not spell good for the investigation, Detective. If you don't know even this, then...
This investigation will be my masterpiece, the one they remember me by, I promise.
I hope so. I truly do. If I may suggest, hold on to your colleague, Kitsuragi. I ran a check on him and he is very competent. In the meanwhile...
Some of that assurance is meant for herself, as much as it's meant for you. She must have a lot on the line here.
You have me. I will assist you in any way I can, even if we have to do it one basic term at a time.
Let's try this. Or maybe not. I don't know. Let's try.
6 kilometers southwest, in the Valley of Dogs, Junior Officer Chad Tilbrook takes aim at a rabid black dog licking its wounds in the grass. To his left, his partner, Emil Mullins, whispers, "You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset in Martinez?" "Yes, he lost his mind," Tilbrook answers, fingers on the trigger. "Don't worry, Emil." He pulls it out slowly. Slowly now. He'll find it again. We always do.
What am I?
You? You're an officer of the RCM.
The Reversional Citizens Militia.
Preciso mundo.
Good. What is the Reversional Citizens Militia?
Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol, Detective.
De facto.
Yes. That means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is poetically called the twilight of international law, both at the behest of the coalition government and to its chagrin.
What do you mean?
The RCM's responsibilities are defined by the Emergency, Wayfarer and Aliments Acts, 3 pieces of legislation keeping the city in a, let's be honest, laissez-faire stasis to the benefit of foreign capital.
So I'm basically a lackey of capital? No. Yeah. Lackey of capital I am.
There's nothing basic about your role, Detective. It's true that the RCM keeps everything the way our seemingly permanent provisional rulers like it. Yet, on the other hand, I know these people. I deal with them daily. Let me tell you, dear, they are not fans of you. The post-revolutionary decade was a disaster for the coalition government. Revachol in the 20s was hell, especially on the west side of the river. Gang warfare, a botched privatization scheme, a nuclear pile meltdown. They called it the International Zone because no nation wanted to claim responsibility. The RCM restored peace where the coalition failed. A true blue citizens' initiative. They will never forgive you. So, permit me to conclude with this. Who you are to me is the police. The only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol.
Well, thank you.
And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the basic terms of reality, well, I'm here to help. Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
Okay, so that was a handful. I guess we can go to sleep now.
The bed is still cold from the broken window, and not too inviting. But it's yours. You've earned it. The bed is still cold from the wind blowing in from the broken window. The mattress creaks as you close your eyes and try your hardest to fall asleep.
Here we are again, my broken bud. The waves are coming, carrying you away. But you can't go. No, you have to stay. Always half aware of yourself.
Here we go again.
You're not cooperating, brother man.
What you talking about?
It's your disgusting body. Even through your sleep, you feel a vague discomfort suffusing it. Your belly and your sides are unpleasantly tender. You wish you could curl up into a fetal ball of safety. But you cannot, because of the pain.
Let me guess. You want me to drink, don't you?
That pain in your right side is your enlarged liver, by the way. As for your kidneys, you've really been compounding the damage lately. Every cell in your body is moaning in agony, asking, what did we ever do to you?
This body's worthless anyway, no one does anything nice to it.
And why might that be the case? What lava lights on such a bloated corpse to be?
These are my just desserts. I will endure my this pain with dignity.
There's no dignity here. Only reflections of your body mass. Flashes of the day. You keep coming back to yourself in the mirror. But why? To admire all your accomplishments?
Haha.
You're just stuck here. In the half-world. Could try looking at other people. Really looking. But why would you want to start doing that?
I will. I'm looking at people all the time. I like them.
Sure you do. They're all so friendly, aren't they?
Not all of them, but some of them actually are.
At least they're interesting. Each one has a process just like yours, running in the space between their ears, full of secrets.
What do you think you're doing right now? Coming to some greater awareness? Look at all these lights, blinking in and out of existence. Thoughts! You're just pretending that you're asleep, even to yourself, while the world goes on without you.
Let it. Let it.
But it never seems to let you go, does it? Time to rise and wipe that shining sweat off as best you can. Gather your bearings. Rock and roll.
Put on your prettiest face for the masses.
Huh? What are these people?
Yes?
Should I tell him? Yeah, let's tell him.
Wonderful. What is your takeaway?
I'm super cool with all of it.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to see you're stable. Keep it that way. Now, was there anything else, or should we get to it?
Nothing. Not yet. Hey, good morning, bartender. So who are these people? Hello?
The woman in an RCM patrol officer's uniform winces as she notices you.
Hi.
I would really prefer not to talk to you right now.
Okay.
A patrol officer is the lowest rank in the RCM, below lieutenant and sergeant.
I'm on a murder investigation. Are you the cavalry?
I'm definitely not the cavalry. Yes, I am.
I'm a cop too.
I know.
Here's the real deal.
It's hard to tell whether he's sarcastic or sincere, but if you had to guess, you would say the lieutenant is being sarcastic.
Is everything alright?
I don't know. I mean, why would I want to talk to you?
I'm a deeply flawed individual, but I bring joy to the world.
Do you now?
Something changes in her. It's pity. Pity comes over her.
Okay, fine. Let's talk. What did you want?
What does one talk about with a fellow officer?
So what precinct are you from?
What precinct?
Am I from? God, he doesn't know.
Fucking deranged lunatic.
Your portrait is very different from your model. You are two different people. You are not the same.
You're getting an intellectually unsatisfying vibe from this conversation. Maybe you're doing something wrong.
You're the police, right? Cool, so am I.
I don't know what to say.
Don't say anything, Judith.
What are you, the police, doing here?
I'm just looking out for...
You?
No one. I'm just a man with sunglasses. And you are?
A police... A policewoman.
Yes. A policewoman who just wants to do her job. That's all.
Something about the man with sunglasses and you, the energy between you two is making her uncomfortable.
Okay, goodbye.
You look like shit. And I don't mean that as a metaphor.
Last couple of days have been rough.
Oh, don't be so modest. We're looking at several months worth of damage here. Kind of a miracle you're still up and at it, to be honest.
Who are you?
Oh, come on, Jean. It looks like it's been a rough week on him.
It's not just this week. What do you want?
There's something about this guy that matches with a face in your head. A similar, but different face. He might be wearing a disguise.
Okay then, see you around.
Watch out for yourself, loser. Again? I can't believe this shit.
He might be wearing a disguise. You know what it is. It's like the two of you know each other. Just ask him.
Tell me the truth. Do you know me from somewhere?
Oh, I definitely know you from somewhere.
Another life.
Yes, from another life. A different life. Maybe the life of a police officer belonging to the ranks of the... To what station do you think you would belong in this alternate and totally fictional reality?
$69. Wasn't I part of 41? 41st.
Okay, that's plausible. That's entirely plausible. Now we're really getting somewhere. Somewhere good.
Let's talk more about the hypothetical session 41 you mentioned.
Okay. Let's be crazy. Let's say you and I are partners. How's that for a thought experiment?
Seem like a cool guy. I would love to have you as my partner.
Would you now, or would I be cramping your style? Never mind. Partner.
Actually, I shouldn't have called you my partner. Kim's my partner. He's going to know.
I'm not your partner. This union is temporary.
A little premonition for you, Lieutenant. Sooner or later, probably sooner, your new friend tells you he doesn't need you. He will then suggest you should fuck off. When that happens, I suggest you take his advice.
The lieutenant merely bows his head in response.
Who else is in our imaginary police station?
You're not going to believe this, but... police officers. Yes, sir. Solving crimes, locking up bad guys, and get this, and not getting that drink on at 2 o'clock. Just some regular boring motherfuckers in suits and uniforms. Nothing spectacularly extravagant like you, the far-out son of Lang.
Who is the far-out son of Lang?
Oh, it's you, you eccentric genius. I mean, with your unorthodox approach to police work, it has to be you.
Want to tell me more about him?
Not even a little bit.
It's an urban myth about an officer who is so far undercover he can't remember who he is. As I said, just an urban myth. You are not the son of Lang.
He's trying to protect you from further rough handling, dished out by this sunglassed man. Okay, yes, you get the joke. Leave it at that.
Do you have a crime to solve?
Oh, no. You see, I enjoy watching other better cops solve crimes. And let me tell you, it's been quite a privilege seeing you work.
This isn't helping.
I can't imagine it anymore.
Neither can I, partner. Neither can I.
It's a mere second, but it feels like you saw something. A gram of compassion in that sadness.
Cool shades. Are you wearing a disguise?
Yes, it's a hobby of mine.
As if waiting for some kind of reaction or response. Something to click. It's not happening, though. Who is this guy?
Him, who is this guy?
I'm not getting involved in this.
It's not my style, he thinks, glancing at the man in sunglasses and the woman beside him. Oh boy, they're mad at him. No wonder. He just doesn't recognize them.
Got some questions for you. I'm a cop.
About what? You don't look like a cop. You know what you look like.
Like Gil Lamley.
No, you will not start blabbering about that asshole.
Now will you answer some questions for me?
No.
Why not?
Cause it's not my job. Why don't you go and fucking do yours and solve this damn hanging?
If you don't want to answer questions, maybe you want to hear me say things.
Actually, I don't want to hear you say things.
Come on, Jean.
Okay, say things. I want to hear you say things.
Hear that? He wants you to say things. Say one. Suddenly, out of nowhere, case-related things start popping up in your head.
Okay, I'm doing this investigation. A man is hanged.
So, do you know who hanged him?
Not yet.
Yeah, I can see that.
Why am I even telling you this?
I don't know. Why are you?
It's like you felt it would be intellectually stimulating and would lead somewhere. A custom even? Strange.
Oh my god, there's more. You want something more? What is it?
Let's talk about the hanged man again.
Okay, why not? Let's do the old thing over again. We're not wasting time. There is no time. So, do you know who hanged him?
Not yet.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know. Oh my god, there's more. You want something more?
Nah.
Okay, the man with the sunglasses and his hypothetical Station 41. Weird, right?
I know, super weird.
There's something missing here. Something you can't put our finger on. You know what? Just ask him. I know it sounds crazy, and you'll probably get laughed at. But still.
Yeah, I was thinking the
Yes,
same thing.
just cross it off the list. It's probably not true, though.
Again? I can't believe this shit. I'm going to say no. Just to see what you'll say to that. What'd you say?
Yeah, probably not. I don't remember you from anywhere.
God fucking shit.
None of this is great news for him. Okay, I was clearly wrong. He is a firefighter, male nurse, animal control agent, something of that kind. Not a cop. Go on with your cop work. Don't let me stop you again.
Ah, you're here.
Hi, gendarme. Another rendezvous.
You're here.
I am. So are you. What brings you here?
What are you doing here?
Admiring the atmosphere. What about you, officer?
This is where I'm going to go down in history. I'm going to sing karaoke.
Really? Well, I look forward to that.
Composure. Okay. I met your Sunday friend.
You did? And how did you like him?
Didn't like it as much as I like you. What? I think there's a government official. I don't trust governments.
Ah, shoot. Why not?
Who is he?
A visitor from the first world. He's not like you and me, gendarme. He can always return.
Return where?
To his opportunities in Occident, sur la clé. Still, his coming and going brings some life to the village. Or is it just money? I don't know.
Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. What are you? You two.
Friends, I told you.
Friends?
Sunday friends. Friends who like to get together from time to time.
Mm-hmm. Do you also pay rent together? What does it mean, a Sunday friend?
That he won't be there when times get tough, I guess.
Is that even a friend?
It is. On Sundays.
Why was he staying at your place in the middle of the night?
He has keys. And he likes the view. To the sea, I mean. Hmm? What about me, gendarme?
Tell me about the muscular type who came to investigate the crime. Yeah, somebody came to the crime scene before us. I remember this.
Oh yes, let's see. He knocked on my door a few days after the lynching. I think he was going through the entire building, asking questions.
Besides muscular, did he have any other identifying traits?
Oh, let me think. He had an accent. He sounded like one of those mercenaries.
All right.
He sounded vaguely Oranese. No, not vaguely, scratch that. He sounded definitely Oranese.
So he's one of the mercenaries. What did you tell him?
Nothing. That I didn't see anything.
And he believed you?
Why shouldn't he?
You tell him about your friend?
What friend?
Your Sunday friend, the witness.
No, I don't think it came up.
Was he alone?
Yes, but he was speaking to someone on his earpiece.
Hmm.
Yes, you know those tiny speaker microphones that fancy security guards sometimes wear. Just reporting back whatever I was telling him.
What did he look like?
Muscular, handsome, strong, like one of those military types.
Alright, thanks for the
Sure.
information.
Anything else on your mind? Bye-bye, gendarme.
Okay, the cook is here.
The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you a little nod, acknowledging your presence.
You said you're friends with Manana, is that true?
The mention of Manana gets his attention. He smiles and delivers a whole slew of unfamiliar words and lively gestures. Then he falls silent again. They're friends?
Maybe I can level up composure in the future. What is in that borscht you're making there?
The man says a couple of sentences in that strange language of his, and then seems to wait for you to speak. I'm pretty sure he asked you a question. He doesn't know your language. You can just say something cool in return.
Yes.
Horse need more vodka?
Okay, so it's vodka that keeps the men happy and in good spirits. Clever move by the Union.
Of course, vodka. Now that makes a very, very special borscht indeed. Turn it up and then ask for some yourself. Turning it up seems like a dangerous idea, honestly. The place is a powder keg.
To cut it, turn it down.
The cook gives you a long, disappointed look, then turns the stove off and seems to wait for you to speak.
Do you know what's behind that door?
He looks up at you, then looks away quickly, shrugging and muttering something to himself. Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door.
So is there something else that we can do? I think it's about time to end the stream actually. Maybe I can just squeeze in a few more things before closing.
Hola, wandering man. How can I help you? The little boy had a good on his promise.
His promise?
To get me into trouble. To sick the pigs on me. Pardon the choice of words. Not mine.
What happened?
I was asked to look into that armor situation. Official Union probe, you know. Track it down, see who took it.
Did you?
At first I thought, why not? Maybe the pieces can feed the strike. Buy us a few more days under the sun, you know? So I went to this boy. He said he'll make me his prison bitch. He's got eyes everywhere, and the cop's in his pocket, and he's the king of Jamrock. Serves me right for doing menial footwork. I dropped that probe right then and there, and it still got me into trouble. One bad move is all it takes.
So Kuno used us to scare you?
It's a minor nuisance. It's all good. I learned that people don't want to talk to a drunk Union man about some armor.
What else?
Not much. Technical stuff mostly. That was the interesting part. I did some research into this armadura. Let's say I have friends at the library. I didn't get into the material science, just how it comes off.
How does it come off?
In parts. 4 in total. The helmet was the first to go. The kid says he tore it off and kicked it into the sea. I believe him. The boots were still on the guy last I saw. Too hard to remove. So, as I count, there are 2 parts missing. The gauntlets and the cuirass. This is where I left off. Too much hassle. More like a job for some militia. Oh, they're just gone. They don't exist anymore, if they ever did at all. Forget about them. I did.
All of it? There are junior officers out there, eager to prove themselves. I would leave some for them, and I would leave the boots to processing, but okay. Let's find all of it.
It's implied. He finds it unlikely that you will succeed in this.
A mezqui's epic then, all across Martinez. I hope it will be a real bonanza for you. No problem. If you see that kid, thank him from Call Me Mañana. Thank him for showing me the way.
He is sincerely grateful. He is not tracking down pieces of armor right now.
Kuno's like Kuno's dad. Kuno doesn't give a fuck about anything. So? Fuck, okay. Kuno's a giver like that, yes?
Kuno sent your fat ass running around like jello!
Look, pig, Kuno sent you to rough some people up. Kuno played you. That happened. Now you and Kuno should move on.
Whatever, kid.
What is this? Trying to be cool with your new asshole? Kuno was just being nice to you. You got fucked bad. Now limp the fuck out of here. After this shit, you better have something real interesting to say if you want to stay in Kuno's face.
Yeah, real interesting.
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
Okay, I wanna go to the bridge.
It is such a pleasure to see you again, officer. How may I head the citizens' militia on this fine day?
Wait a moment. I got nothing for Torik.
It is such a pleasure to see you again, officer. How may I head the citizens' militia on this fine day? Oh, sweet Jenny. She was the finest woman in all of Revachol. Maybe the entire world.
Do not defile her memory, Gaston. Let her rest in peace.
We knew her, all right. Lived on the same street our entire lives, just 2 houses apart. The 3 of us have been best friends since we were 4. She was René's first girl back when the prick was 16. They were courting till he decided he'd rather die for some great ideal than just be happy.
And then you stole her from me.
Oh, officer. It already got ugly nearly 80 years ago when the three of us were just learning to walk and talk.
You stole her from me.
Well, technically, you stole her from me, because we'd been pretty close ever since you two had that falling out over the ink you spilled over her pretty yellow dress.
We were just boys then. This was different. You... No point starting this all over again. For the 1000th and the first time. Especially when we have company. Officer.
She died of pneumonia 2 winters ago. It was a quiet passage, peaceful. René and I were both by her bedside when she...
died. No use sugarcoating it. Won't bring her back, will it now?
departed. Until the very end she couldn't decide between us. The most indecisive woman I've ever met. She could never make up her mind about anything. What to have for breakfast, favorite color, or which one of us to marry. She was always leaving one of us for the other, but never long enough to actually get married. Heck, technically, we're both still engaged to her.
You always confused her. Couldn't let us be happy. Seduced her with your fancy words and pastries.
He suddenly remembers you are still there. Falls silent and turns away.
Of course, officer. Memories are all we have left. Sure, officer. They are the good guys around here.
No, that's not true.
Thank you. For being consummate professionals. You'll have this case wrapped up in no time.
Okay. Let's see if we can get our sandwich.
Alright, this is how we're gonna do it.
Like what, officer? This is as good as they come in Revachol, I assure you.
An array of delicious recipes flashes through your mind. Salads, salmon, sandwiches, bingo.
Mon Dieu, that is an excellent idea. That would virtually negate the component loss. Ce serait délicieux. Can you make that sandwich, officer? I hope you are not just tricking an old man out of the little he has left.
I win. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Sure. I'm not worried. We're here all the time. Every day. Impossible to miss us, officer.
He looks worried.
Is there anything I can do for you right now? Maybe to speed the whole process up a bit?
The sandwich. This might be the biggest sandwich you have ever seen. The size is almost intimidating, evoking feelings of inadequacy. Abundant in components, rich in both smell and taste. Man, I still have to have lunch. This truly is the work of a master craftsman.
The ham sandwich looks fresh and nutritious in your hand, begging to be eaten.
Now this is some thoughts to be having, you see?
A treat of this magnitude should not be enjoyed alone.
I'll pass. Thanks.
When you hold something up long enough, some people are compelled to take it. Try it on the lieutenant.
Thank you, but no, I'm not hungry. No.
Do not lower the sandwich.
No.
The lieutenant's eyes express an absolute lack of interest. The lieutenant stands next to you, but he might as well exist in a parallel realm.
Wow, that's not a stiff upper lip, that's a stiff upper skull.
This man does not crack under pressure. Stars would die before he'd succumb to any kind of manipulation. With this realization comes a sudden flash of pride.
Some people would feel compelled to take it. Yes, I know.
Not you, though.
No.
Step back, everyone, it's gonna get messy.
You jam your teeth into the sandwich and immediately feel a series of taste explosions go off in your mouth. It's like someone's carpet bombing your tongue with ambrosia. This is what angels must taste like. Your saliva production increases tenfold. You can barely contain it all. It really is every bit as good as it looked and smelled. The different components all chip in and complement each other, forming a flavor that is unique to this particular masterpiece. The bread, as the foundation of the sandwich, is slightly moist due to the tomato juice and mayo, but holds together nicely. Almost nothing falls off the sandwich. You feel like you really got everything out of this experience.
Wow.
Call the Mama Dakwa. It's not only your eardrums that register sound anymore. Your very skin has become an organ of hearing. Looking for a whisper, light and low. A god who's very, very silent. Nothing escapes you. A cockroach in the other room. A candy wrapper falling on dry grass. A drunk falling from a chair in a bar 20 meters away. In fact, you haven't heard the call du Mama Dakwa, but you have discovered that you have amazing hearing. It must be the only part of you the alcohol hasn't drowned out. Keep listening.
Okay, this seems nice. +3 perception. Okay. And -1 encyclopedia, but I mean, it's alright. My encyclopedia is high, and I can always spend another point on it anyway. It's like 3 at the price of 1. Nice. And I can just do this. I can just level up encyclopedia. Something that I ain't going to do, I think. Yeah, let's do it. You know, I'm hungry now. So I think I'm going to end the stream here. So I don't know when it's going to be the next stream. I still need to decide on the next week schedule. I will probably put some updates on the community tab on my channel. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Stay tuned for my next updates. Man, I am really hungry. Yeah, I'm gonna run and have something to eat. Bye bye.